fade away. Alone all by myself, I'm not just gonna stay here and wait. I wanna just decide what is to be my fate. Alone all by myself, I'm not just gonna stay here and wait.
Good morning, everybody, and hello to Facebook Karen and Facebook Fonda, and yes, Facebook Fonda. That is a really great song. It's my favorite song of our opening themes. What do you think, Verbo?
I kind of like the song. It's cheery. I know Gia doesn't like it. I know in my brain it's programmed as start of the show, and like when I hear certain parts of the song, I'm like, all right, 10 seconds, So like I like it because I can time myself through it, But it's fine.
Yes.
And hello our Facebook friends.
Yes. So today we have updates, but not real updates because we don't have both sides of the story in the Kate Peters situation, and we do not have anything from Blue Bacon yet as to his hearing with Chile DeCastro. The hearing will be explained in the news stories, so will the Kate Peters thing, but what we have from Kate Peters so far is just Turtleboy's account, where he basically said that the protective order has been moved from 10 yards to 100 yards, and he showed a very sketchy document where zeros were added to the tens.
Right. Yeah, I don't think Kate's spoken publicly about anything, so I don't know for sure if that's a real document. It looks like it is. It looks like it is to me. And it expires next year. So
yes. It was issued like 3 months ago or 4 months ago. So it looks like it's the old document with zeros added to it, and that's what people keep pointing out. So
right. So we'll see. I'm sure that Kate will have something to say, over the next few days or week or something, and eventually, if it's true, we'll get confirmation. But the document itself looks like the document. I don't know if it's tens or hundreds. I don't know, but the document itself looks good.
And the only other thing about that was Turtleboy claims that the bail revocation he claimed was going to happen today didn't happen because Kate's lawyer has COVID. Sorry to say the C word, but that's news. It's not. I'm not being mean or being weird, YouTube. I know we're going to get hit for it, but just by saying the damn
conspiracy.
word.
Yeah, there's no conspiracy.
Yeah, but the lawyer has the COVID and couldn't come to court, so they postponed that hearing allegedly, according to Turtleboy's account, until the next hearing, which is at the end of August.
It was just a pre-trial. That probably wouldn't have happened in a pre-trial anyway.
Yeah, it's a freaking pre-trial hearing. And there's mass the court documents that they release says nothing about any of this. It just says that the next one is like the 29th. It literally says nothing.
It doesn't at all. So
yeah. So we'll see what the real story is. We do have an earlier update in the news stories. So just bear with us as we go through that one in a bit. We've got five stories to go through today, so we've got a longer show. I do want to point out that we are not live streaming tomorrow because I finally have to put my chair together and rearrange the office a little bit because I'm sort of sagging to the right now if I go too far to the right. So it's time. It's time.
It's been time for months. I'm glad you're finally going to get that done. I hope that your chair does not collapse in the middle of this broadcast.
And well, see, one time, back when I was much thinner too, this was like when I worked for AOL and I was not even 200 pounds. I was like 170. I had this habit of leaning all the way back in my chair, reclining all the way because I was working AOL and we were stuck even though I was management, I was stuck there all day and half the night. So you just get used to reclining all the way. Until one night, I reclined all the way, and it kept going to the floor.
Were you no longer 170 pounds?
No, I was still the same weight. It snapped in half from going back so much. So now I'm completely paranoid about chairs.
You should be. Completely paranoid.
That's it.
Yeah.
So...
Well, we all look forward to you assembling your new chair that's been sitting in the box for quite a long time now. And
it's out of the box.
Squeak. Well, it's
out
not
of the box.
Put together yet. It's not a real chair yet. So we don't have to hear your squeaking of your chair during the recordings.
Oh, there'll be a new squeak. I'm sure there'll be a new squeak. But yeah. Cecilia, I have the parts laid out over in one corner of the office here, and Cecilia was taking off with one of the bags earlier. So I was just like, oh, crap. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, she's selling them. She's going to be selling them on eBay to one of the people in our audience just to take my chair. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. Okay, we've wasted 9 minutes, so let's get into the first. We have a surprise in the GoFundMe tally. A player we haven't seen in a couple of days. Spoils the day for Chili DeCastro. So let's hop into that. GoFundMe DeCastro victory spoiled by LIA. It was a day of bare minimums And yes, he's in his Karate Man poses. Yes, I did the Karate Man poses. So... Coincidental $10 donations to Garrett Press with Rancor Van Net's ongoing legal defense campaign and Jose Chili DeCastro's lawyer fund only, all dollars go to lawyers' funds, would have put them in a tie with their own ongoing expenses fund, had a $20 donation to Sean Paul Long Island Audit Riaz's billboard truck fund not swooped in and stole the victory for the day. The tie for second place appeared to be a coordinated effort to at least tie our daily Hate Watchers donation in response to our recent callouts of DeCastro for his less than stellar performances in his fundraising efforts. Despite previous boasts of being an ad executive in New York City and previous claims that he had big money donors, DeCastro's recent struggles with fundraising were on display on his Monday night live stream, where he said he had to dip into his personal funds to pay a lawyer, which we assume to be Press with Rancor's attorney, as crowdsourcing did not raise enough money to cover the $6,000 needed to pay the monthly payment. DeCastro stated that he paid the money directly to the lawyer, so those waiting for matching funds to be posted on Rancor's GoFundMe account can stop waiting for an update from DeCastro. Despite the massive failure of his fundraising efforts on the part of Rancor, DeCastro refused to change his ways during Monday night's late-night live stream. Starting hours after most on the East Coast of the United States were in bed, DeCastro was toned down in his pitch to his customers and made sales a secondary priority for the first time in quite some time. The YouTuber said he makes profit to help people. He stated that he was a businessman who was out to make profit, but he used his profit to help others. Pushing sales of his indestructible trifold, he admitted that the trifold could be destroyed if you put an effort into it, but denied that it could be easily ripped, despite YouTube videos showing how easily it could be ripped in half. DeCastro did not respond to a recent video by attorney Patrick J. Darcy that showed that DeCastro may have limits on the amount of restitution he can sue the state of Nevada for as a result of the overturning of his conviction for obstructing an officer and interfering in a traffic stop. Darcy claimed that the only law he could find allowing those wrongfully convicted to sue the state of Nevada only applied to felonies and was limited in scope of possible monetary awards to the plaintiffs. If true, this was a major blow to DeCastro's desire to win a seven-figure payout from Nevada for his detainment, which was the goal of his most recent GoFundMe campaign. In that GoFundMe, DeCastro promised to throw a party of equal value to the donations he received towards the future seven-figure payout as incentive for donors. It is unclear if DeCastro will issue refunds to donors based on this new information. On that note, if you'd like to join our hate watcher in making us take your money without hope of a refund, as I spent it on surviving, and also forcing me to continue to write this column each morning, we do have a GoFundMe of our own. All proceeds go to keeping the lights on, eating, and writing new stories to feature here and on reallycoolsite.org. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the text there. It works when I play it elsewhere. It just froze there for a minute and then caught up at the end. So, yeah, vertical. So,
It's so
yeah,
smooth. There's no problems at all. Everybody loves it.
vertical. No, Touche does not have a wrench. So, if you don't like and subscribe, I'm going to make her a mod. And then there's going to be heck to pay. She's gonna ban everybody. That's
She a
it. She's in a
tyrant?
mood.
Tyrant time. Peanut
We're all
butter
tyrants.
Aren't we like happy tyrants or something like that? I can't remember.
I think over on the Discord, yeah, I think it used to be Happy Tyrants. I called you all for mods. Forget. Let me look. Let's see. What are the rules? Yeah, because I hid you all. So you are a happy tyrant, I'm pretty sure.
You hid me?
No, we hid the actual... Yeah, you're a super happy tyrant. So we hid the actual...
There you go.
Distinction. So everybody looks the same. Unless you know what you're looking at. So, yes,
so
we
fancy.
are... happy tyrants. That's what we are. Actually, that's what you are. I think I'm the mega something in chief. I'm not sure. This was last year, you know? I set up like the automations. I set up last year. And the only one who uses them is Gia anyway, so Gia's got a bunch of them. So if you say certain words, Zoe's going to appear. You know?
I know.
Just for Gia. I didn't get around
better than the... It's better than the other moderation used to happen where you get timed out using random words.
Well, yeah, I liked that one. That was my favorite one.
I know,
that was my favorite thing.
No one else likes it. No one else likes it. They all hate it.
I turned it off. I turned it off. Just so you wouldn't go run screaming out of my Discord server.
Oh, I don't care. Everybody else hates it though. I think it's kind of funny.
I mean, come on. Sometimes potato would get you banned. So
right, and especially it would irritate Gia.
Hey, Chris. Welcome. Chris is another new person to our chat. Please make Chris
Well,
feel
hello.
welcome. Yes.
We have lots of people tonight.
Chris was hanging out when our premiere went up against Irish Demon last night. So, yeah. We got slaughtered. So, and I noticed he didn't go live today as promised. He said he was going to come in. He was going to do a new Miss Mandy thing today, and he never did. So, wonder what happened. Anywho,
is he like +7 for me? I think about right now ish is when he said he would be going live. Maybe.
No, maybe.
I think he said
he
should have responded by 8, and they were going to go live by 10, and I think it's.
But it was his time, not our time, or not West Coast or East Coast time.
Right. So what is he +7 for me? So he's like a little bit late, and he's always late.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's still a window of opportunity if people are looking forward to that.
Yeah, he'll probably be right up against us because we're at we've got the All-Star panel at 8:00 tonight. So, and yes, it's the last live show until Wednesday for those who didn't get here earlier. Because I have to. Oh, not only that, I have to leave the house tomorrow.
Oh my God!
Yeah, because my Jeep has finally got its tire fixed. You know, from where my mom caused the front tire to come off. It still has to go to the body shop at some time, but as I was telling Rose earlier, last year it spent from June until July, end of July, getting a new engine. And getting the new engine was covered because I paid $6,000 for the lifetime warranty on the damn thing, so it was covered.
Mm-hmm.
It was covered
That's
in
great.
that insurance. Yes. With this one, this was also pretty much covered, but again, it spent late June and all of July gone. I'm starting to see a pattern here. It wants a month off. It doesn't like July.
Yeah.
It just wants to be left alone for July's. That's it.
What are you doing to that poor car? What are you doing?
I don't drive it. Believe it or not, I bought the car for my mom because my mom goes from state to state for her work. She does inventories for pharmaceutical reps, and she does all sorts of other stuff that keeps her out of the house. So she's put 200,000 miles on that car in 6 years. Well, I've driven maybe 2,000 miles in that car total. I never use my own car. Literally. So, yeah.
Parsons thinks that Jeeps are junk. I have a 92 Jeep that's still kicking, bro.
Yeah. And Mrs. Tom, she came through the second brain surgery yesterday pretty much okay. She's got, she's going to be transferred to a rehab unit in the next couple of days. So, cross fingers, everything should be okay. So,
that's really
But
good.
We've been delaying this forever, so let's go on the second story, because we've got four stories to get through yet, and we're already at 6:50. So, yeah. DeCastro announces independent press union. Jose Chile DeCastro announced that he was forming a new organization of independent journalists on his Monday night live stream. Details remain sketchy at best as DeCastro refused to release the name of the organization until he has filed the paperwork establishing it. He also claimed that he would be releasing a website offering a sign-up for independent journalists in August. Briefly explaining the organization, DeCastro claimed it was a union and that members would be required to pay dues to the organization to support membership. He would then use the money gathered in order to send journalists around the country to cover news stories. DeCastro claimed that Garrett Presswith ranker Van Net's case that is set for jury selection today would be an example of a news story the union would cover. As an example of this, DeCastro explained that due to his current problem with raising funds, DeCastro could not afford to pay the $1,200 it would cost for a round-trip airline ticket to Michigan to attend the jury selection later today in Ranker's case. Having access to union funds would allow him to assign a reporter to go in his place and give the reporter compensation for his or her time covering the story. DeCastro then recruited an auditor named Big Mike from his chat to cover Ranker's case and promised the auditor reimbursement for his fuel costs for his drive to the court. He also implied that he would be filing for press access to give Big Mike the ability to record Ranker's trial on Wednesday. Jury selection for press with Ranker's trial is expected to begin at 8 a.m. local time this morning, with his trial beginning on Wednesday. DeCastro is currently paying $48,000 to fund Ranker's defense in the case. The YouTuber also may be facing a major setback in his attempts to sue the state of Nevada for his wrongful detention in the Clark County Detention Center. Research by attorney Paul J. Darcy indicated that Nevada does have laws that allow those acquitted of crimes to seek restitution from the state for their incarceration. Darcy apparently found that they only apply to felony convictions and have very limited maximum payouts for incarceration based on years of incarceration. DeCastro has maintained that he will be seeking a seven-figure settlement from the state for the overturning of his 2 misdemeanor convictions for which he served approximately 4 months in the detention center. This is a developing story. Okay, so Darcy's video basically shows that for a felony conviction, you can get up to 50 grand per year.
Okay.
But for a misdemeanor conviction, you get nothing.
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 Yeah, I don't think he'd win that anyway. Is he making future financial plans based off of his false assumption he's going to make any money off of this?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
dumb. It seems strange that he wants to establish a coalition that requires a good amount of funding and ticket buying and hotels and transportation and salary when he is hideously in debt already and already cannot maintain his financial responsibilities that he's already taken on.
Well, remember, he promised that if you fund his latest GoFundMe, if you give him money, hold on, Rose. Sorry, Rose is asking something. If you give him money towards the towards his new GoFundMe to fund the $100,000 he says he needs to get the world's best lawyer in the world, he will invite you personally to a party in Las Vegas where he will spend the amount that was donated on that party after he gets his seven-figure settlement.
Right. Okay. Sure. Giant parties in Vegas promised by a grifter. I think we've heard this story before, and it's not a thing.
And basically, I think I pointed it out before, how much would $100,000 get you in a party in Vegas, if that's the maximum goal? That will get you maybe Buffalo Wild Wings, maybe some dancers to go with it, but you're not getting any sort of big party in Vegas for $100,000.
Are we talking at the Bellagio, or are we talking on Fremont Street? You know what I mean? Because you can get a little different experience in Fremont Street for $100,000.
he's basically promising the world to these people. And $100,000 party when he's only made $4,500. Maybe your $4,500 party on Fremont Street.
Right. He could get some Buffalo Wild Wings in some sort of like conference room or something for, 5-6 grand or something, I'm sure.
Well, he was
He's just
also go
Go ahead.
ahead.
He's just overextending himself everywhere financially with empty promises and things that he cannot and will not ever achieve. And it seems to me like he's in a great amount of debt right now that's pressing upon him. And so he's made this weird coalition of not journalists to get some fresh money in and like Ponzi scheme the stuff out, right? So the fresh money comes in for the journalist stuff. He funds all of this other stuff that he needs to get done, and then he banks on the fact he's going to make a large settlement coming up here, which is just not going to happen, which then will flush out everything else. And that
Well,
seems scammy and weird.
the other part of this party was he promised hotel rooms to anyone who donated.
Okay,
So
well,
how
that's
much
definitely
do
going to be Fremont Street.
Yeah, that's gonna be Motel 6. He's gonna rent out the whole Motel 6, or he's just gonna get
Right.
them sleeping bags, and they're gonna find someone's backyard and just sleep there. Because who else
Oh,
wants
yeah.
to sleep under the stars in Las Vegas when it's 115 degrees out in the shade? You know?
Right, right. Maybe a few can sleep on the floor of his studio. Maybe
Yeah,
the select few get a porta potty or something.
that's it. You know? And Nutella for all. Yes, Nutella baths for all.
Oh,
Uh,
that's foul.
Ew.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
she didn't
disgusting.
say anything about babies. Rose?
I don't.
Oh,
I'm not the baby person. I don't have children. I've never had children, and I'm sterile. So that's not me. That's not me.
then why don't we go to the biggest baby we know? In fact, he's dressed like one in this picture. Let's
Ooh,
add him to the
gross.
stage. Boy claims Peter bond to be revoked. Aiden Turtleboy Kearney broke the news on his Twitter feed Monday night as he claimed that Kate Peter will be facing a motion hearing to have her bond revoked at her next hearing for charges for felony witness intimidation on Tuesday. Kearney claimed that he had been asked by the Worcester County District Attorney's Office to testify against Peter in support of the motion, which will be heard at 8:30 a.m. local time on Tuesday. Peter stands accused of intimidating Kearney by having contact with him despite his protective order against her. Kearney received the protective order earlier in the year as he claimed in court that he lived in fear of Peter and that he felt she was a danger to his life. Kearney's protective order says that Peter has to stand at least 30 feet away from him at all times. He willingly violated this protective order outside of the last hearing in the Karen Reed murder trial earlier this month as he walked up to a police officer who was standing next to Peter and demanded the officer move Peter as she was in violation of his protective order and that he was in fear of his life due to her presence. Despite officers on the scene declining to take action, Kearney claims that there will be a motion today to revoke Peter's bond based on violations of his protective order, including this incident. Kearney apparently backed down from his implied statement that he was in fear of Paul O'Keefe, brother to victim John O'Keefe in the Karen Reed murder trial, as Kearney claims that the two men exchanged direct messages over the weekend. As a result of the conversation, Kearney claims that the two men have agreed to go on a double date for a golfing outing, and if Kearney beats O'Keefe, O'Keefe will donate $500 to Kearney's legal defense fund. If O'Keefe beats Kearney, Kearney will donate $500 to Chris Albert's D&E Pizza's charity fund. Kearney had been claiming that he lived in fear of O'Keefe's statement over the weekend that he would take him down, and speculation had been that Kearney would be seeking a protective order against O'Keefe based on this apparent threat. Peter is due in court at 8:30 a.m. local time for a scheduled status hearing in the witness intimidation case. Kearney claims he will be testifying for the prosecution at that hearing. Future Jim here. According to a Twitter post by Kearney, the hearing was held and the judge agreed to reset the distance Peter must stay away from Kearney. She now must be 100 yards away from the blogger instead of 10 yards. Kearney also claimed that Peter's bond revocation hearing would be held at the end of August as Peter's attorney appeared via Zoom due to a COVID diagnosis. There you go. That's all we know is Aiden's word on what happened. So we have no confirmation of anything, but that's what he's put out there into the world.
Yay. I hate his smug face.
Yeah, but look at his outfit.
I know, it's so silly. I don't know why he thought there was going to be testimony and bail revocation today at a pretrial hearing. That doesn't make sense.
And the next one is scheduled for another pretrial hearing. There is nothing at all on it that says anything about bail revocation or anything. So, I don't know. We're going to skip real fast to the next story, so we're out of here at a decent time. This one we've partially covered, but let's get into hearing today in DeCastro versus Blue Bacon lawsuit. Hours before Stephen T. Geblin, representing Jose Chile DeCastro, is set to square off against R. Paul Katrinik, representing Michael Blue Bacon Paratini, in California Superior Court, the court itself released a multitude of documents related to the case Monday night. Tuesday's hearings in the case, where DeCastro is suing Paratini, Kate Peter, Daniel Clement, and Team Skeptic for harassment and defamation, are scheduled to cover Geblin's motion for reconsideration of a recent motion for sanctions and Blue Bacon's attorney's motion for financial sanctions against DeCastro. DeCastro currently has been hit with sanctions owed to Paratini and his lawyer of approximately $1,600 and $4,500 in separate rulings by Judge H.J. Ford III. The mountain of new documents provided to us by PDocs of thepublicdocuments.com essentially Okay, pausing here for a second. We're going to stick PDocs' URL in the chat. What's not said on this, but is said on the actual produced newscast, is this pile of documents cost PDocs $100. And that's normal. That's what we all face when it comes to this court. So if anyone wants to help out, PDocs at that site has a Buy Me a Coffee link. It's not required to donate. If you want to help out, please help out. There's so many pages of documents. You can get them on my website. You can get them on PDocs' website. We're in a little group that shares the costs of these. We do not ask for credit. We do not beat our chest and watermark them or whatever. But they do cost money in the long run, and $100 is $100. I would have had problems doing it last night, and I'm glad he had money put aside just for this. So if you want to help out, please follow that link. Please hit his Buy Me a Coffee link, because he deserves it, because he was the real hero right before midnight last night when they did the document dump.
Yeah, he's put a lot of time and effort into putting together the publicdocuments.com. He's been following Chile for quite a long time and is very neatly organized in all of the case files and all that kind of stuff. So it's worth a pop over there if Chile DeCastro, interests you at all anyway.
Yeah, and, buy him a coffee. Give him $1, help him offset, the costs of everything, because, like I said, I wouldn't want to have done it. The real problem in this case is Blue Bacon's lawyer likes to talk, and he likes to include hundreds of pages. And on the California Superior Court site, hundreds of pages means $60 to $80 just for one stupid document. So it's a hit we've
expensive.
all taken. But yeah, if you can help, please help. Anyway, back to the story. During today's trial and next week's motion for summary judgment in the hearing, DeCastro's attorney argued that a summary judgment in favor of Paratini is premature at this time, as he has not had the opportunity to depose Paratini nor finish gathering information needed to get up to speed in the trial. He and DeCastro accused Paratini and Paratini's lawyer of taking advantage of DeCastro's recent incarceration in Las Vegas in order to rush through sanctions hearings and the motion for summary judgment, knowing that DeCastro was incarcerated and could not defend himself. DeCastro only informed the court of his incarceration through Geblen last month. No notice was provided to the court or to Blue Bacon's lawyer before that time. When DeCastro had made statements on his YouTube page that he was in jail, and it was widely known that he was incarcerated by those that follow DeCastro, no official filings were made to officially inform the court of DeCastro's incarceration until recently. Blue Bacon's attorney commented on this as he claimed that he was officially notified that DeCastro was incarcerated on June 28, 2024. He then reviewed DeCastro's YouTube channel and found that DeCastro apparently had access to his email, as he had made numerous statements on his YouTube channel about his incarceration, but never followed through to notify the court or Blue Bacon's attorney of his change of status. Geblen is seeking either the denial of the motion for summary judgment next week or a 2-month delay of the hearing so he can better prepare for it. We will update the story with the outcome of today's hearing as we receive it. Okay, and we have no updates. The California Superior Court has not updated anything, and at their going rate, they probably won't update for a day or two. Blue Bacon hasn't said anything, and DeCastro is probably not going to say anything either, unless he got a major victory today. He claims that he's been at work on this with his lawyer for some time now, that he's been spending the better parts of the last 2 weeks on this case in particular. And that's why
Really?
he's been gone so much. Yeah, he was saying that last night on his live stream. So
Okay.
he's in I don't know. DeCastro's in a freaking weird place right now. He's broke. He has no prospects. He won't change. Remember, we went through this yesterday with all of his debts. I forgot that he has 4 employees that he has to pay. I know they're in India, so it's pennies, but he's got James, his assistant, on top of it all. He's in a bad way right now. And
Absolutely.
I'm not asking anyone to be sympathetic to Chile, but
No. He's created all of it.
Yeah. I mean, we pointed out that he's about to hit 50. He's no longer the sweet young thing he used to be. I mean, when he and, what's his name, Heller, were sitting next to each other, what was it, 3 months ago, 2 or 4
Something
months
like
ago, when he went to D.C., they looked like they were a gay couple. They did. They complimented each other so well that if you didn't know, that's what the vibes they were giving off. You know, they were sitting next to each other, overly close. It was just 2 little old men like Ernie and Bert at 70.
Jim, they both had to be in frame.
Yeah,
shoulders were touching.
I know they had to be in frame, but they didn't have to be in frame like that. But I mean, just the camaraderie between the two of them. And Heller's gone completely insane on Twitter. He's got an extreme right wing. You can see that because he's in our Twitter feed over in Gia Reed's Mean Tweets, but just going on the deep end every freaking day.
And sometimes it's not even like actual posts, it's just like a single letter. It'll just be like A over and over and over again. So I
Yeah,
don't know if he's like
yeah,
malfunctioning or he's like boomering. I don't know what's happening, but it's frequent and it's weird.
but the point being that Chili is past his prime. He's not the sweet young thing that used to get the girls. So David Condon or Jeff freaking Lloyd could have a good time. Chili's gonna hit 50 in about a month, a little over a month, and he looks it. And he doesn't go out, he doesn't party, he doesn't do anything that would make him worth it to these backers anymore. So
No,
for
and
those saying that his sugar daddies are going to come in and swoop him up and save him, that ain't happening.
yeah, I don't see he doesn't mention them and stuff anymore. Now, there's nothing wrong with 50.
No,
As us ladies age, the appropriate age should age with us, as for what we're attracted to. For most of us anyway, it should track with our own age frame. And a silver
but
fox,
but
there's nothing
to
wrong with a silver fox.
to someone like Jeff Lloyd who is looking for girls who are 23, and I bring that very
Right.
specific number up because it comes up in the next story, and I don't want to
Ugh,
pre-piss you off, so let
gross.
let's just let you play up and be grossed off or grossed out about it. But Jeff Lloyd is looking
Gross.
for people who
Yeah.
can get him, or David Condon, Jeff Lloyd are looking for people who can get him 23-year-olds. That's not Chili DeCastro,
I
and
think
Chili's going
grossed
to have a
off is
tough time.
right. It's like grossed out
Yes.
and pissed off. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
like it.
Next
I like it.
story. Next story is a 1 year anniversary of some very stupid statements by Chili DeCastro. So let's
Let's get it.
hop into it now. And folks, remember, it's not us saying it. It is Chili DeCastro who said it a year ago. So don't kill us. This day in history, DeCastro loves to Apree. On this day in history, Jose Chili DeCastro declared his love for the work of comedian Tua Apree, who recently launched a parody channel featuring his own versions of First Amendment audits. Tua Apree's channel had quickly outpaced DeCastro's in new membership and views and had gained DeCastro's attention due to his attempts to film from outside of a private law office while he was claiming to film a fishing show. In the past year, Tua Apree's popularity has grown significantly, with his videos averaging over 100,000 live views per release. DeCastro's own videos seem to peak at 16,000 views in recent history, though he has had live streams hosted on his channel by Michael Eline that have rivaled the numbers that Tua Apree reaches on a regular basis. Also on this day, DeCastro claimed that a woman's beauty peaks at 23 years of age. He claimed that women are unattractive and not developed below that age, and their beauty decreases beyond the age. DeCastro also stated that if a woman was attacked in public, she should not fight back or wait for the police to help. Instead, she should call men surrounding her for help, as women are incapable of defending themselves and should not rely on the police for help. YouTuber Harvey Freebird also made the news on this day as he pepper sprayed a featuring his own versions of Whoops.
in public. She
Okay, yeah, I was so out of it there that I accidentally went backwards. So, yeah, he really did make those statements before we cover it up with the Harvey Freebird stuff. What is it about frickin' 23? You're nothing until you're 23, and then you're nothing after
Nothing
23. So,
afterwards.
so
I
at
mean,
23, you're the best.
even Leonardo DiCaprio lets it like age out at 25. Like he gives it a few more
Yeah,
years, and he's pretty weird
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
I don't know. I remember being a 23-year-old woman, and I was still pretty green to the world. I didn't know all the things
That's
yet. I think 30. I think I was probably hotter than I was at 23. At 30, had my shit together, had a career,
right.
and the body was still doing okay at that point. You know what I mean? Wasn't a hard body, never was, but I was I was clacking around pretty
That's,
good.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he, I remember his one interaction with a woman that was on camera. And remember that time he set up a meeting with some little blonde influencer? Do you remember that one? Because she was
Mhm.
barely 20. And I'm wondering if he's referring to that one in his age range. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, that
gross. Gross.
it sort of goes back to our statement last night that all of the older women in his chat who tend to come on to him and then disappear, this is why. He wants 23.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It gets weird and creepy when you're twice as old as the person that you're laying. Don't be like that, Chili. There's there's no reason to go after these younger women who don't know any better. That's weird. Stop that.
Well, at least they're not 13. So,
Oh God. Oh God. No. Oh
because if he
God.
had said 13, would he still have followers?
No, he would have pitchforks and be in jail. Like that's not acceptable. God.
Okay, let's finish out with the Harvey Freebird stuff. Harvey Freebird also made the news on this day as he pepper sprayed a man multiple times in an altercation over Freebird recording the man at a boat ramp in Harris County, Texas. The obviously intoxicated man objected to being filmed by Freebird. The two got into an oral altercation, and Freebird pepper sprayed the man twice as the man began to become aggressive. The man responded by throwing Freebird's camera in the water. Police treated the man for pepper spray on the scene, and it is unclear if he was arrested. Freebird was not charged in the incident. Freebird later retrieved his camera from the water. It is unclear what, if any, damage the camera sustained from the water, or if Freebird took action against the man for damaging his camera. Okay, there you have it, Harvey Freebird. Yeah, pepper sprayed a random person who didn't want to be filmed.
That's
So,
great. I love that. That's
yes,
wonderful behavior. What the fuck?
yes, that's, I mean, uncomfortable laughter here. Yes, yes, yes. So,
Wrong, wrong. I don't know. What is Apree doing these days? Is he banging around doing weird stuff still?
160,000 views per video.
Wow. Maybe
And his
Apree
channel,
is was one we
yeah.
need to like start looking at more because he's not really an auditor. He's kind of a comedian. He's kind of a lot of things. Doesn't really fit neatly into a category, and he is kind of funny. I mean, he's weird. It's a weird sense of humor, but he's kind of funny.
Oh, he does a killer LIA impersonation. I mean, they're
Yeah, he
indistinguishable when
does.
he starts going. Yeah.
I forgot
Uh,
about
the tr-
that.
the only trouble is he only puts out a video like once a month. So yeah, he gets huge
Okay, well,
numbers, but it's like once a month. So
I don't know. What does the
uh,
audience think about Apree? Because I think he might be an interesting one to bring into, just keeping an eye on an article here and there because he's kind of weird and funny. He did the butterfly boy stuff and he does little shticks and kind of see what happens with him.
well, we know. See, now that I'm putting out the individual videos, I know who gets hits, and Regan Benson does not get hits. Believe it or not. Regan
No, none of
Benson
us like
coverage,
her.
as awful as she is, we've only had one that's actually got more than 100 views, and that was her verbally attacking a police officer. Everything
Right.
else, Regan Benson doesn't fly very well. Floyd does okay because it's about sex more than it is about Floyd.
Yeah, he's a sex
But
pest.
yeah, he's a sex
We're all
pest,
waiting for him to
and
get picked up for some sort of sex crime and locked up. I fear he's going to get stabbed in an alley in some country because he's being rude and weird and being a sex pest, or he's going to get picked up on charges because he's verbalizing that he's not being a nice person when it comes to that.
Well,
You know,
he
his
thinks
lines
that
are gray.
he thinks that as an American he can get away with anything in like Colombia. And he's gonna find out pretty quickly that these girls that he's dissing and these girls that he's using, someone's got a connection somewhere, and suddenly he's going to disappear in the woods. You know, he is going to be alone in that jungle at some point and maybe not come back. Because,
Yep.
yeah,
It's a dangerous game he's
was
playing, and I don't think he understands. I
he
truly don't think
brags
he
that
understands.
he brags that he can go back to these cities and the girls aren't going to remember. But after a
Okay.
while, seeing that he burned like 10 girls last time he was in Colombia, including the one he called the stud, he screwed her over as much as he could. And he even, I mean, it was disgusting stuff, like her private parts. He was comparing them in front of her because she couldn't speak English, talking about how her private parts compared to another one he had.
Right. So
And
just because he can't remember him doesn't mean that they don't remember him. You know, like they
and
don't register as humans. They
yeah,
just don't.
he doesn't think they're human, and he doesn't think that, you know, someone's gonna find his, because he thinks that his alias, which he admits Terry something or other is his alias, he thinks they're never gonna find him on YouTube.
Okay.
He's never gonna be found on YouTube, even though he says his channel's foreign only, and he says it out loud quite a bit. They're never going to find him because they're in a third world country, and so what if they do? And I'll tell you, if he really is going back to Colombia for another 90 days, then this might be the time where something bad happens.
Yeah, perhaps. I think he has not a clue the danger that he puts himself in. I think he totally underestimates people's cognitive abilities because his seem to be lacking. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous way to move through the world, and he's going to have some very, very unpleasant consequences eventually from it.
Oh, it's going to end badly. Everything's going to end badly. So, folks, as we're wrapping up here, put a 1 in the side chat if we should unleash the power on Touche and let her be a tyrant. That's a 1 in the chat. 2 in the chat for anybody else.
Get it, get it,
Yes.
get it. Wrench it, wrench it, wrench it.
And as I'm going over here to make her a mod, I'm hearing my own voice, and it's like, oh crap, did I forget? Let's see. We are going to unleash the power on Touche, and let's see what she does with it. Because it's all 1 so far. Okay,
There's
folks, she should have just turned blue. And now we have a new tyrant. And no, we
she
can't
ban you, Gia.
No.
We won't do it.
Now, folks, remember, we'll be back in about a half an hour with the All-Star panel. Please join us then. We do have part 2 of the Drunk Girl, if I can find it, that we were watching last time. And let's see. Let's see what happens with that one. And we're getting out of here. Any last words, Verbo?
Thanks for everybody for showing up, and I hope to see you later.
Okay. Where's my closing credits? There we go. Come on, Verbo. Organs.
See you later.